been featured in Forbes magazine, the Wall Street Journal, NBC, and many other publications. And now, the Expert Advantage Real Estate Show with Blake Sloan. You heard the man. It is time for Blake Sloan. Well, in a second. But here's, first of all, how you can get in touch with Blake Sloan. Because over the next 30 minutes, you're going to be hearing a lot of great stuff. And when you do, you're going to want to say, I need to call that guy. That's easy to do. Call him at his office at Sloan Realty Group. The phone number is 843-808-SOLD, 843-808-SOLD. Or you can go onto the website at blakesloan.com, blakesloan.com. Very easy stuff to remember, but if you didn't get it this time, don't worry. We'll repeat it several times over the next 30 minutes. So a lot of great stuff to get to, so let's go ahead and get started. Here he is, Blake Sloan.
Good morning, everyone. Got an awesome brand new show. Some really cool stuff we'll talk about today. We have a special guest in the studio with us, Mr. Joe Hutton, one of our top buyer experts on our team. And so we'll kind of give a less behind the cover look into kind of what we're like as a team, what buyers should be seeing right now, and just a few things like that. Also, talk about the micro market. Last week we talked about the overall macro market and kind of what was happening from our marketplace, and we saw some fairly steep declines, right, in all different areas, both condos, new homes, resales. And so we'll dig into kind of what that means for your specific zip code. This is one of the ones I get the most questions about, and so we'll kind of really dig into what that means and kind of what to look for based on your zip code, based on your area. Also, another cool thing, I'm not sure if you heard about this, Dave. I guess I'm sure you guys did. Myrtle Beach made it on another top 10 list. You see that? Number 4 place to move to. Did you see that one?
I think it was one of the ones we did see, yeah.
Yeah, it just came out 2 days ago. Top 19 cities to move in for 2019. We were number 4 on that. So we'll talk about what that report said. It was really cool. It talked about not just the beach, but like what it's like to grow a family here. Oh. And I really kind of related to that because I'm born and raised here. You know, one of the very few. And so that's something that's super cool. We'll talk about that as well. Another thing too, if you have time, this is super cool. This is like brand new, but we just inked a deal with an amazing new artificial intelligence company so all the things for like buyer conversion help people is to have, it's all about speed of response. And so we have this artificial intelligence that it'll respond 24 hours a day within 2 minutes, and it like answers your questions. We had an example earlier where someone asked about an HOA. Boom, automatically answers the information within 2 minutes, all live. It's all crazy. So we'll talk about what that means and what that means for the future of real estate going forward. And also some amazing success stories that I'm super excited about. We'll share as well.
Well, you're always on the cutting edge, so none of that surprises me as far as Sloan Realty Group. Now, if you're just tuning in, you've never heard before, and trying to figure out who this guy is, Blake Sloan. Well, he's been called the Real Estate Whiz Kid, been featured in Forbes magazine, Wall Street Journal, Realtor magazine, other national publications, TV, of course, on NBC. You've seen him on Fox and Friends with the morning show. Also, you know, you've heard some of those endorsements on the radio station from Glenn Beck, Sean Hannity, Barbara Corcoran, Gary LaVox, and more. Put those all together, it's unprecedented in the world of real estate. The other thing that Blake does that nobody else does is the trademark systems that he has to help both home sellers and home buyers. So whatever you are, whatever you're looking to do, he can help you out. The thing is, I'm not going to tell you this just straight out on the radio. What you need to do is get involved with him, and he'll let you know, although there are certain parts of his trademark system that he wants to let you know, the most important parts, he'll let you know right now.
Yeah, this is like my why, right? This is my calling, what kind of moves me to get up in the morning, and really my cause in this industry. It really has to do with the law of kind of success that we see happen here. And so what that means is the single most important variable that determines your failure or success as a home seller comes down to one thing only, period. And that thing is the agent you choose. And so what that comes down to is there's 118 different variables from A to Z when you're selling your house. If each one's handled correctly, guess what that does? That puts money in your pocket, property actually gets sold. If any of those are handled incorrectly, aka the ball gets dropped, that costs you money, part of your hard-earned equity. And so the reality is, if you're a single agent trying to juggle 118 different variables, the reality of you hitting all those is not going to happen. And so what I did is we have a team and a system. And we created a system step by step that created proven, repeatable results. And so we identified every single variable, and we created a system that creates maximum leverage every single point. So in essence, it's like stacking the dominoes. And so we create a small gap on the first one, small gap on the second one. At the end, there's a huge gap between us and everyone else. It's just like, you know, when you run a marathon, everyone takes off at the same exact time, but ultimately some will finish 2 and 3 hours ahead of time of the competitors. It's the same exact thing that we do, and we help give you, the client, a huge competitive advantage when you're buying or selling. In this situation, it's called the Guaranteed Sold System. The only proven system that sells twice as fast and for up to 21% more money than traditional methods, and it works very, very, very well. It's proven and repeatable. We've tested it here, also other parts of the country, and it's the same exact thing where a lot of agents are just going into it, winging it, hoping to do, an open house. They do the 3 Ps that we talked about. They promise the world to get the listing, right? 2, they put it to the MLS, and then 3, they just pray someone brings a buyer, ultimately leaving you with frustration. And so we flip that script and create a proven, repeatable system that gets leverage every single time and gets you predictable results, just like a real business should. On the flip side of that, there's for buyers, right? Buyers have the same thing. Your success or failure in buying and getting the home that you want comes down to one thing only. Guess what that is? The agent, period. It's how they execute in those same variables. There's 100+ variables in the buy side. There are obviously different variables in when you're selling because you're on the opposite side of the transactions, but we built out a system called the Unfair Advantage Home Buying System that creates maximum leverage at every single one of those points that gives you the competitive advantage when you buy. And so what it does, get you priority access to foreclosures, distress sales, desperate sellers, the absolute best financing when you're buying, the absolute best negotiation, obviously in price when you purchase, and also in the home inspection process, but ultimately making sure you have an expert who helps guide you in that process for what's most people their largest asset. And so those both are proven, and they give our clients a huge competitive advantage when you're buying or selling. So if you're in that process, you listen a lot, you have not called, reach out and call us, 843-808-SOLD. More than happy to share it, free, no obligation, no hassle. It absolutely blows people's minds when they actually see it. We kind of pull back the curtain a little bit.
All right, well, there's a lot of stuff to get to, and as you heard, we're just getting started. Don't get left behind. Call Blake today at Sloan Realty Group. The phone number is 843-808-SOLD, 843-808-SOLD. You go online to blakesloan.com. Interest rates, mortgage rates, what are they looking like? Big numbers you need to know about. Hopefully they're not too big. And also your real estate update, including the micro markets. That's all coming up in just a second here. It's the Expert Advantage Real Estate Show with Blake Sloan.
Hey, it's your friend Sean Hannity. Now, if you own property in Myrtle Beach, the national marketing plan of the realtor that you choose is absolutely critical. Now, that's exactly why you need to talk to Blake Sloan.
There you go.
At
So
Sloan Realty
we have one more
Group.
section,
Work
right?
as a marketing system on a
So we have
whole
one more
different
section
level
here,
than anyone else in Myrtle
here,
Beach. That's so effective at capturing
here,
local
success
markets
stories.
around
Right after the
the world
success
that
story,
is guaranteed to sell your
is when
home
we'll bring
at
you in.
price and
So
at
I got
design that you agree
success
to, or
story.
Blake's gonna
I'm gonna
find it.
switch this
Most
around
agents rely on
to
yard
after
signs
that.
and open houses
And we'll just
that
kind of talk
attract
about you
occasional
and kind
buyer.
of
Blake attracts
what advice you have
hundreds
for
of
buyers.
each
Like
month, which
anything you
creates
see
demand
buyers
and
struggle
makes your
with, we'll just kind of
property
feel.
sell
I'll just
faster per
ask you
$1.
questions.
That's why on average, Blake
Like, what do you
sells
see right
property
now
every
with your
single day of the
clients
year,
and
and
stuff?
is
Just
ranked among
be
the
normal.
top 100 agents in the
And
entire
then ultimately
US
just
by the Wall Street
you know,
Journal. Now,
you can
working
talk
with
about what we
Blake
do
is
in our team
risk-free.
as well.
If you're not happy, Blake gives you the freedom to cancel your contract and pay nothing.
I love it,
So
man.
give
Huh?
Blake
Just
a call today
don't
at
overthink it.
808
I'm not.
That's
I tried.
808 sold. Just go online and see Blake's interview
what we're
on
seeing
NBC
from
at
buyers.
blakesguaranteed.com.
Hi, I'm Barbara Corcoran.
Okay, so what did
To
you?
sell your home on time for the most money, you need a sharp agent with a marketing strategy
I'm gonna
that
turn your
creates
mic
the
on, so
most
just be quiet.
demand. Bottom line, you need a partner willing to put their own money on the line for you. In Myrtle Beach, I would hire Blake Sloan. His international marketing creates so much demand that if your home doesn't sell at a price and deadline you agreed to, Blake will buy it. Partner with the agent I trust. Go online or call and get your home sold.
Coming up in just a second, what are the mortgage rates looking like? Very important numbers you need to know. But first, speaking of numbers, let's get a real estate update to see what the market's looking like, including some of the micro markets. Blake, what are you seeing?
All right, so brand new numbers. Obviously, we covered those a little bit last week. We talked about the macro numbers. We talked about the real-time data. We've slowly seen them get a little bit better as more people enter data in, right? Where there's some houses that close in December, but the agents didn't put them in yet, and so we've slowly seen that. So quick recap for anyone that missed that, kind of right now where we're at. So right now for single-family resale homes, which is like what the majority of the marketplace is, right? So we can all gauge that. Sales last month were down 7.2% from the same month last year, right? Month versus month, because obviously we're seasonal. And so we have seen a decline there overall in overall sales. Now, sales price, though, great news, up 5.2%. The median price for a resale home in our entire marketplace, $225,000 even, which is great overall in that regard. We also have seen a decline in inventory, meaning there's less inventory right now than usual, down 1.9% at 5.1 months of inventory. And so I'm going to fly through this part, obviously. The one thing that we noticed, though, and this is kind of part of that softening we talked about, is an increase in days on market. So on average, it's taken really about 9.2% longer to sell a home, at least over 130 days on market. depending up to if you combine those new constructions over 180. And so the reality is sales are down. It's taking longer to sell. You can see some softening a little bit, but thankfully, like we talked about, price was up, which is great news. But overall, just quick recap too. If you look into new construction, they got hammered last month, down 21.6%, and so that has to do a little bit with the hurricane stuff. Obviously, there's 3 full weeks there. People could not buy, and they could not even build, for a while there. And so 21.6% decrease in home sales. The prices, though, still up, which is great, up 11.7% at 273,727. And so months of supply actually increased of 1.9%. And so that's just something to show you kind of a little bit of the softening there as well. And days on market, taking 180 days to sell new construction property once it's available, of 1.1% from where it was. And so the reality is, it's just something to watch about. And so the last thing here, just kind of a quick, 30,000 foot view, so to speak. If you look at condos, closed sales in condos down 9.6%. Last month for the same month last year, prices up 6.2% at 138,000, and the inventory is up as well at 5.1 months, and they're taking about a little bit less time to sell, 116 days right now for condos. And so that's the overall macro market. And the one thing that really kind of was important for me to look at and talk about is that trifecta, so to speak, right? When you see decline in sales from new construction, resale, and condos, there's a challenge there, obviously, right? If it's weird if you see one thing happen, when you see all three, there is a softening there. The other part of that equation to watch for is when you watch days on market increase, which means on average, resale homes taking 12% longer to sell. Obviously, common sense and metrics tell you, guess what? Maybe a little bit less buyers out there that are buying, which obviously kind of adjust that. And so we're going to see that it's still very healthy. We're still one of the best performing markets here on the East Coast, technically, which we'll talk about in a second. But I'm going to jump into the micro market really quick. I'm going to fly through this. This is what I get the most feedback on from people, is like, what's my zip code? And so that's something we'll talk about really quick for anyone out there. Really quick, Myrtle Beach. If you look at December, closed sales were down 13.6%. And so if you look at the last couple months, we saw that decline. The great news, it finished up year to date for 2018, up 10.6% from the previous year, aka 2017. Price up 5.8% for the year. The median price in Myrtle Beach right now, $347,243, and so that's a great news there overall with that. And the inventory in Myrtle Beach in December dropped 13.3%. So if you're a seller and you want to target and sniper the marketplace, guess what you want to do? Sell when there's less inventory and as the demand comes up. And so what I'm telling you is going to be a little earlier this year than usual based on what's happening in the marketplace. And so that's just something to remember. Condo sales in Myrtle Beach down 11% in December. They were down 1.8% for the year. And so if you look at the entire year of 2018, there was 1.8% less condos sold than there was in 2017. The great news, though, price up 6.2% at 138,000 overall. And so that's something we'll keep watching there overall as well, but still pretty healthy. Little River, closed sales up 2.0% in December, which is great. They're up 18% for the year, which is awesome. Prices in Little River, check this out, one of the best ones, up 19.9%. So prices up almost 20% in Little River. So if you think about selling, you want to definitely reach out to me and see kind of where you're at. And so you're seeing a huge swing there, right? And that's why the micro market data really matters for you. And so median price Little River right now, $253 even, like I said there. Inventory is down 10.9% in Little River for homes there, which is great. There's not a lot of condo sales in there, so I don't really like to use that data, which is awesome. Conway, closed sales down 10.5%, so the opposite of the swing there, right? From the same December last year. Year to date, though, Conway sales up 2.4% for the year, and median price up 3.2% overall as well. Last couple ones here, Garden City, closed sales in December, down 27.6%.
Wow.
So you can see there's a big difference. Some are up double digits, some are down double digits. And so that stuff really actually matters there for sure. And so the other thing here, median price in Garden City Myrtle is up 1.4%. Last month alone at $300,000 even. And so that's great news there overall as well. And into looking at the overall aspect for Pawleys Island, Litchfield, closed sales last month down 22.2%. Prices is pretty much even, right at $350,000. The same December of 2017 was $348,500. So not a whole lot of jump there. Inventory though, check this out. Inventory for overall Pawleys Island Litchfield, 23% increase last month. So a lot of new listings hit the market last month, which obviously equates to some more competition. So make sure you reach out to someone who's very good, who can help you with that. Last couple ones here is Georgetown. Georgetown numbers aren't quite fully accurate for month to month because there's not a whole lot of sales there. But year-to-date sales were up 10.9%. Prices last for the whole year-to-date last year up 8.8% at 180,000. So great news over there overall for homes there. And so if you're thinking about wanting to know kind of what's going on in your area, your specific neighborhood, reach out to myself, my office. Go to blakesloan.com. More than happy to help you be able to get an instant report online as well.
All right. What do we have as far as numbers are concerned?
Yes, so interest rates, they've been like crazy lately, right? We're very, very similar to where we were last week, which is very, very good. We're staying remember we were way down, way up. Right now we're at 4.59% for a 30-year fixed rate, almost very, very close to where we were last week. 15-year fixed rate right now, 4.15%. And overall 30-year FHA loan right now is at 4.18%, which is good. A jumbo loan, 4.37%, and a 5-year adjust rate mortgage is 4.40%. And so awesome stuff there. We're seeing a whole seeing a whole little bit better. We're still some of the best rates since April of last year. And so we're seeing some buyers jump in. And so like I mentioned before, if you're a home seller thinking about getting your property sold, don't wait till spring this year, as the market may shift a little bit more, and also as interest rates go up as well. It's something to keep in mind as we go forward.
All right, sounds good. Well, coming up in just a minute, we got some more great stuff to keep this show rocking along for you on this weekend. Hot buyers alert are on the way, and success stories. There's so many
Yeah, I was
success
going to talk about some of the things that some of the
we
buyers
jam them all in, so we'll try to do that. Plus, we have a special guest in the studio
and I was
and a
going to
whole
tie in
lot
our
more.
unfair
Get in touch
advantage
with
home
Blake
buying
Sloan,
system
Sloan Realty Group.
that'll
It's
sell
really
those
easy to do.
listings to
Call
them.
843-808
You know, the
sold.
minute they hit the market.
843-808 sold. Don't be one of those people that said, you know, I've
Working
meant
with
to
other
call you,
agents
but I
who
never
are
got
part-time,
around
not
to it.
communicating the
Call
process of the importance of communicating
843-808
early,
SOLD
so
or
people
go
know the steps of the
online
process.
rather to
It's a scary thing.
blakesloan.com.
Horror stories, yeah.
blakesloan.com.
Is that okay?
You want your home sold
Yeah,
on
the horror
time
stories
and
and everything.
for the most
Let's talk about team first and then buyers.
Hi, it's Glenn Beck, and when I had to sell
Oh,
my
actually, I'll
home,
lead you.
I went through several agents.
Hey Dave, how much time we going? Am I long on time?
Well, if you have a celebrity in your own town, if I lived in Myrtle Beach, no question, I would call Blake Sloan of Sloan Realty.
when you get back.
Blake
Good,
has a
okay.
marketing system that reaches buyers from around the U.S. and
So we'll
around
do
the world,
success
and
stories when we get back
he
here.
attracts hundreds of buyers.
And then,
Incredible demand.
so I'm gonna do some buyer success stories, and then
You're just going to ask kind of what we do at ours.
I'm gonna bring you on, and you'll say hello and all that stuff, and then I'll lead you. What's it like working for a crazy person? Hey, what's it like working for a crazy guy? But watch clear my throat because I can hear it.
That's what I was worried about.
Or visit Blake's website, that's blakesguarantee.com. blakesguarantee.com. Or listen to Blake's Real Estate Show every Saturday morning at 9 or Sunday morning at 11:30 right here on WRNN. It's the Expert Advantage Real Estate Show with Blake Sloan. Coming up in just a minute, some great success stories. Get in touch with Blake by calling 843-808-SOLD, especially if you are looking to possibly sell. If you have a home anywhere in the Myrtle Beach area, between $150,000 to $3.5 million, Blake needs your inventory. He needs it now. So if you're just thinking about selling, contact Blake. That same phone number, 843-808-SOLD, 843-808-SOLD. How many people are looking for homes in the area? Lots of people are on Blake's website right now. Not just like cruising every once in a while through the website. They're actively looking for homes in the Myrtle Beach area to the tune of 51,649 people, Blake, are looking for homes in the Myrtle Beach area just on your website, and they're looking constantly.
Yes, real peoples. Real peoples that, username, password account from all over. That's what we'll talk about with Joe in a second, like how many actual buyers we have. I think that's what blows most people's minds. But the reality is, like, we need sellers, and we're probably 51,649 active buyers, a massive amount of buyers that we have. In our business model, which we'll talk about in a second, is what allows me to do that. I can outspend the average agent 100 to 1 from a marketing standpoint, which drives more traffic, which obviously helps us sell your property faster. And you kind of hear about how we do that. Most of that, too, is also intensity. Obviously, when we're spending a lot of money to market properties, we're going to push pretty hard to make sure that we can get them in a house, and obviously sell your listing if you're a seller, because I have skin in the game. If I'm just part-time and doing open houses, I don't really have a whole lot of skin in the game. And so we'll talk about that as well. I want to get through, fly through. Usually I read everybody's name off. We'll talk about some stuff with Joe. I want to get to a really cool success stories really quick.
Sure.
First one is Alice. Alice owned a townhouse in Market Commons, so it was one of those that had the retail space on the bottom and the house on top or whatever. And we sold a bunch of those, but she reached out because she no longer needed the bottom, wanted to sell for top dollar, just buy a house. And so she wanted to sell it because she obviously didn't have the need for it. Here's the cool part. She interviewed multiple agents to make sure she chose the right agent for the job. Somebody told her to. She met with us after the many agents, was absolutely blown away by what we did. We launched our global marketing blitz, professional photos, drove massive traffic, had it under contract within a couple weeks. We had multiple offers, so that means we had more than one at the same time, which means we drove massive traffic. So if you have two buyers at the same time who make an offer, that obviously helps drive the price up, which is beneficial for the seller, right? And so sold for 98.4% of asking price in a couple weeks, which is super cool. Very proud of that. Another cool thing that kind of shows you how diverse what we do. We have amazing listeners, Brian and Nancy, who listen to this show. I actually talked about this a while back about how we can help people. So they were victims of the hurricane. If you remember me a while back, I said, hey, look, if you're thinking about you need some, to basically sell, we have investors who will buy out immediately for a good price. They called us, which is super cool. They had a house in Longs that was flooded. They called us after hearing the show. We had one of our investor clients come in, offer them top dollar for their property, obviously in the condition it was, that way, because they don't want to fix it up and then, they didn't want to be there anymore.
Right.
And so they were very, very happy with their price. We helped them buy another property on dry land, obviously, that they wanted, that they would be super happy with. And so we helped solve the problem instantly. There's no having to fix a house up, put a bunch of work into it. We had an investor who buys it out, and we can buy anybody's house out if you want instantly based on your situation. So don't be afraid that you need to do more work, whatever it is. But the cool thing is we're very, very good at solving problems. And so that's something that's super cool. Another quick shout out to Tommy out there, a radio listener. He called us because is the first one for me. He had a house. And he called us, hey man, I got a fine from my HOA. I want to sell because I don't want to be an HOA. And we're like, why? He said, well, I got these monkeys, and one of my monkeys escaped, and the monkey escaped, and the HOA got really mad about it at that point. Yeah, so if your monkey escapes, you call me, we can help you. You know what I'm saying? So
that should be your new slogan.
That's a cool one, first one. So obviously that's another cool success story. But bottom line is, if you want to get your property sold, call us. I can sell a shoebox. I can sell multiple $1 million properties, commercial, residential. It doesn't matter because we're good. We hustle. And so I'm almost out of time. How much time I got?
Oh, no, we got a good probably 5+ minutes.
Cool. I want to bring in, Joe. Joe Hutton. He's one of the top buyer experts in our team, and just kind of chat with him about like what he's seen, what our team's like, what it's like working, with me and our team. And so, what's up, Joe? How you doing, man?
Hey, doing good, Blake. Thanks for having me.
So he's one of our top buyer experts, and just kind of talk about, what's it like, right now, what you're seeing for your clients kind of in the marketplace.
Yeah, so clients are starting to come out a little bit more. We're definitely trending upwards since the new year started. So I'm getting a lot of leads, a lot of conversions. I put one under yesterday. Definitely expect to have one under by Saturday too. So we're seeing a lot of good things. A lot of buyers are starting to come out for sure.
Because they were kind of in that hold pattern during the Thanksgiving, Christmas.
The holidays for sure. It started slowing down a little bit after that, but they're definitely coming back out now.
And I think a lot of people hear 51,000 buyers. Like when they hear that on the radio, is that like real or like what's the deal with that?
It's definitely real for sure, without a doubt. In some aspects, I know where we just have an endless amount of leads that are just coming in every single day. I can't even tell you how many people sign up on a daily basis.
From all over the Northeast, and you're from up north, and yet you connect a lot with a lot of your clients there, right?
Yeah, so I'd say most of the people I talk to on a daily basis are from up north, and right now it's great because people are getting frozen up there. So everyone's thinking beach. Everybody wants to move down here, so we're definitely seeing a lot of interest right now this time of year.
And you mentioned, some of the mistakes that people make that they like to hear about what the process is. A lot of, obviously, buyers want to know the process, and you've noticed some of the horror stories you hear are about if they're working with a part-time agent or someone who's not experienced, they don't really talk to them about the process. What's been your experience with that?
Right. So I've worked with several people over the last couple of years that had worked with other agents previously, and what we're finding is the importance of over-communicating early. It's a scary aspect when you're buying your first home, especially first-time home buyer or something. You're putting a lot of money into something. You want to be working with somebody that's going to tell you through the entire process, hold your hand, walk you through it step by step, and let you know what to expect each turn.
Cool, and just kind of talk about what's our team like? Yeah, y'all talk about this. One thing Blake says it, but what's it like working for a crazy person?
Intense. In one word, if I could say, it's definitely intense. What I love about this company is you're always pushing us out of our comfort zone. I'm currently reading a book, Can't Hurt Me, by David Goggins, and he came from a real troubled past, came over a lot of obstacles, and it's kind of relatable to us because you're always pushing us into something else. Like I did an 8K in the summer. I know you're trying to get me to do that half marathon
Yes.
here in March.
I'm closing him to do a half marathon in
He
March
is.
as
We're
part
still
of our
working
goals.
on it.
Good luck.
Yes, he's been fighting me on it. That's why I gave him that book. I'm like, dude, here's the deal. Read this book. This dude just ran 100 miles without even practicing. And so, like, because I had just read the book too, right? And so, I was like, what's my excuse now? But ultimately, like, it's intense, right? And we push hard. And what is people like behind the scenes? What is like our commitment to our clients? I mean, like I said, it's like if you talk about the intensity, like behind the scenes, what type of stuff are we talking about, learning, doing to help better serve our clients and people out there?
Yeah, so I mean, first of all, we have the best training, and we get that on a weekly basis. And we're just talking about, it's super intense. We're constantly practicing, negotiating. We're role playing in the classroom, discussing, areas of problems that we've seen. And we're always just trying to push forward and make sure we're putting the client first and make sure we're putting them in the best situations possible, depending on their situation.
And there's a high level of that accountability, intensity.
Extremely. I mean, we have 90-day goals that we break down into weekly goals personally, and then we break them into daily goals, and we just hold each other accountable and make sure that everyone's doing their job. And I think that definitely goes forward when it comes to working with clients as well.
And like based on like what your experience has been in being in business, right? And once you're going like up against other agents and other companies, what has been your experience and how you're prepared versus how they're prepared?
It's night and day. You got a lot of part-time agents here that work in Myrtle Beach, and that's a problem because they're really doing you a disservice if they're saying that they're a full-time agent and really they're only doing 3 or 4 deals a year. That's a huge disadvantage for a buyer. You want somebody that's doing at least 3 or 4 a month. So when it comes in terms of writing up contracts and negotiating, we definitely have the upper hand. So
Because you got experience, right?
yeah, absolutely.
And so if you're talking about somebody's largest asset and you have that much advantage where people are doing 30, 40 deals plus a year, just the agent on our team going against somebody who does 3 or 4, you're just ripping them apart, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, so that's something that is very important that most you don't realize is like if your agent sells 3 or 4 houses a year, they're going to throw you on the bus just to pay rent next month, right? And so with us, it's a very, very high intense thing, and like with 50,000 plus buyers, you never have any type of shortage. It's on the phones all day, every day, right?
Right, and I think that helps a lot too with clients. They don't feel as pressure to buy because we're not hurting for 3 or 4 houses a year. We're selling so many houses here that we kind of put the power in your hands, and they don't feel as pressure to buy right away.
Exactly right. We're just here to help serve.
Absolutely.
And then we sift the ones obviously who are ready to go, and then we help serve them for a very high level. Then they send more referrals, which works out perfect. So anyone that you all know that is thinking about selling, that talks about, don't have them be the horror story. Have them reach out, call me, 843-808-SOLD. We have a super awesome team that we push very hard. We'd love to serve you as well.
All right. Well, if you'd like to talk to Joe, if you want to talk to Blake, the phone number is 843-808-SOLD, 843-808-SOLD. A lot of great information. Gentlemen, thanks for a fantastic show.
Thank you. I appreciate
Thank
it.
you.
All right, this is the Expert Advantage Real Estate Show. Get in touch with the guys at Sloan Realty Group. Remember, don't be confused by things that sound similar to that. It's Sloan Realty Group. And call 843-808-SOLD, 843-808-SOLD, or go online to BlakeSloan.com, BlakeSloan.com. Blake, again next weekend?
Yes, sir. I'll be here.
We'll see you then. It's the Expert Advantage Real Estate Show.